Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is David, and we are resuming the library tour. I know I took a couple days off, and we're gonna at least try to get one or two knocked out this week, so that we can keep moving. So we finished with Gordon Dixon, so now we are kicking off with William C. Deets. So this is Death Day. Best-selling author of Earthrise. So maybe we should start with Earthrise. I'm guessing that must come first. Well, but this is national best-selling author of Death Day. So let's look in here and see which one came first. Oh boy. They both mention each other. Okay, so on the back of Earthrise, it says it began with Death Day. So we will read what is in Death Day and set aside Earthrise. On Black Friday, the aliens attacked. The human race was enslaved, but soon everything will change. Tomorrow is not just another day. Death Day. Okay. So interesting. I've got two books, obviously that makes it an easy thing to decide, yeah, maybe I'll give it a shot. But that's not the only Deets I have. I also have By Blood Alone. It takes more than guts to win a war. So part human, part alien, all hero. And unfortunately, as you can see here, I'm going to try real quick to get enough removed to be able to see what it says in there. The downside of buying used books. Sometimes you just have varied quality on what comes from those books. And nothing irks us book lovers more than stickers, I think. Except maybe dog earring pages. I think that has a more universal outcry. So we will read as much of this as we can. In A Legion Gone Lax, Colonel Bill Booley, with his mixed something and by-the-book attitude, is a misfit. So when he steps on some important toes, the press is quick to make him pay. His punishment? Assignment to the worst post in the galaxy. Fort Mosby, Earth, home of the 13th Half Brigade, a collection of the Legion's rogues and rejects. But Booley and his troublemaking troops will turn out to be Earth's best line of defense when a Legion-led military coup topples the government. It's legionnaire against legionnaire in a struggle that will be won by strength, by courage, and by blood alone. So there we go. We are going to fantasy now. This is a book that I've been wanting to read for a while and haven't gotten around to. This is Lord Faustvain by Stephen R. Donaldson. Now, once upon a time, I was waiting to buddy read this with Michael K. Vaughan, but Michael's got bigger fish to fry and is a very, very busy man. So I probably should just take the plunge and read this. So this is book one in the Chronicles of Thomas Covenant the Unbeliever. I hear it's pretty good. If you've read it, please let me know. Is this worth bumping up to try to get to this year or not? He called himself Covenant the Unbeliever because he dared not believe in this strange alternate world on which he suddenly found himself. The magic of the land could not be real. Lore masters could not draw fire from wood that never burned, nor force stone to flow freely under their fingers. Yet they did. Hurt loam could not regenerate ruined nerves, yet miraculously it did. The land tempted him. He had been sick. Now he seemed better than ever before. Through no fault of his own, he had been outcast, unclean, a pariah. Now he was regarded as a reincarnation of the land's greatest hero. Barrack Halfhand, armed with the mystic power of the white gold. That power alone could protect the lords of the land from the ancient evil of the despiser, Lord Foul. Only, Covenant had no idea how the power could be used. So there we go. So, next we have Dostoevsky. This is the only Dostoevsky I own. Unfortunately, I do really enjoy Dostoevsky. I've read two of them. I started this last year and got a little ways in and then got sidetracked with all the BookTube stuff. So I took out my bookmark to start over fresh when I get around to it. But this is The Idiot. It is a translation by Henry and Olga Carlyle. It says, the chief thing is that they all need him. Thus, Dostoevsky described Prince Mishkin, a hero of perhaps his most remarkable novel, as the still radiant center of a plot whose turbulent action is extraordinary, even for Dostoevsky. Mishkin succeeds in dominating through sheer force of personality a cast of characters who vividly and violently embody the passions and conflicts of 19th century Russia. The author's concern with sin and redemption is here in full measure, but there is another more powerful motive as well. A desire to offer man a new alternative in facing the painful dilemmas of the human condition. So, there we go. That is The Idiot. I know some of you have read it recently, because that's why I tried picking it up last year and just got sidetracked. So, let me know. How did it go for you? I really would love to know. Next, we have one that I'm currently reading as part of my weekly short stories. So I'm not actually that far. I jumped past the opening novels and went to the first short story collection. But this is my Saturday short story collection that I'm reading out of. And so this is volume 1 in the complete novels and stories. This is a Bantam classic. And unfortunately, as you can see here, maybe, lighting's not good enough to show it, but the spine is already cracking right here from reading one story. So it confirmed what I already suspected. I mean, I paid $6.95 for this volume. And it has a tear right there already. This is a reading copy. I'm going to have to find myself a good hardcover copy of Sherlock Holmes. A complete anthology, or maybe even that 3-volume annotated one that you can see behind Michael's shoulder in most of his videos. That's one I'd really like to have at some point in time. But I'd be happy with just like a Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition, or some hardcover that has the complete Holmes in it. But for now, this works really, really well. And so this one includes the early novel A Study in Scarlet, the Sign of 4, and then it also has, it's just going on about other stories that are in here. So it also has Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, which is where I've started. I read Scandal in Bohemia this weekend and enjoyed it tremendously. And then Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes and Return of Sherlock Holmes. So I've got lots and lots of Holmes. So from page 237 to the end, or 3 of the big short story volumes. Eventually I'll go back and revisit Study in Scarlet and Sign of the 4. I've read all of the Holmes before, so these are revisits to me, but to go with it, here's volume 2. Much thinner, in better condition, because I haven't read it and cracked the spine yet. Also paid $6.95 for this, and this one has Hound of the Baskervilles, Valley of Fear, His Last Bow or Bow, I'm not sure which how you pronounce it, and then the Casebook of Sherlock Holmes. So, lots and lots of Holmes on my horizon. I probably would like to also, so I'm reading The Hobbit with my son. I think I'm going to try to do Alice in Wonderland soon after that, but I think Hound of the Baskervilles, if I can get a nice little illustrated edition to read with him, might be a good third book to move into. So much fun reading something other than just picture books. So next we have David Drake here. This is Star Hunter, Volume 2. So this is Things Hunting Men. This is created by David Drake. So let's take a look in here. Is it anything with David Drake? Okay, so this is a collection of short stories. So it's got It from Theodore Sturgeon. It's got Ancient My Enemy from Gordon R. Dixon. I imagine this is the... Well, no, because I remember now. It was a short story collection. Okay. Black Destroyer by A. Van Vogt. Collecting Team by Robert Silverberg. Blind Lightning by Harlan Ellison. Okay, I got an Ellison I need to read. It's got Hunting Ground by David Drake. Hunting Problem by Robert Sheckley, among others. So it says, from the creator of Hammers Slammers comes a great new series, Star Hunters. In Volume 1, Men Hunting Things, David Drake showed what it's like to have a gun in your hand and an alien in your sights. In Things Hunting Men, the tables are turned on the killers from planet Earth. This time, it's the Monkey Boys who are on the receiving end of all that good, clean fun. In at the Kill are Gordon R. Dixon, Robert Silverberg, Theodore Sturgeon, A.E. Van Vogt, and of course, David Drake himself. That sounds like a really fun volume. So we have two more to go. That's right, I had another really thin one at the end. So this is When Gravity Falls by George Alec Effinger. Don't know the author. So we will read the back and see if this is the first one out of those that goes. Because I think even the William Deets sounds interesting. At least enough to, if I try one and didn't really enjoy it, I'd probably part with all three. But in a decadent world of cheap pleasures and easy death, Marid Adran has kept his independence and his identity the hard way. Still, like everything else in the Boudain, he is available for a price. For a new kind of killer roams the streets of the decadent Arabic ghetto, a madman whose bootlegged personality cartridges range from a sinister James Bond to a sadistic disemboweler named Khan. And Marid Adran has been made an offer he can't refuse. The 200-year-old godfather of crime in the Boudain has enlisted merit as an instrument of vengeance. But first, Marid must undergo the most sophisticated of surgical implants before he dares to stop a killer with the powers of every psychopath since the beginning of time. Wry, savage, and unforgettable, When Gravity Falls is a major new work of dark genius by one of the most celebrated talents in science fiction today. A cutting-edge, heart-stopping tour de force detective story about an insane future world not so far removed from our own. You know, it sounds like it could be okay. I've got too many books to read for an okay. This one's going to go in the I'm not putting it back on my shelf. Yeah, I think I'm okay passing on that one. And then one that I have read. This is T.S. Eliot, Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, which is delightful in having illustrations in here. Gotta find a good one and not just like plain ones. So cat lovers certainly would want this volume. Are there any good? Okay, so there's illustrations in here, but they're serviceable, not great. I mean, that's the kind of illustration we're looking at here. But the highlight is the poetry, and the poems are pretty fun. I'm not a huge T.S. Eliot fan. I'm not a huge cat fan. I enjoy this book, though. It's a very, very thin volume. And if you're going to get one thing T.S. Eliot, and you're not really wanting to dive into something complex like The Wasteland, this is not a bad choice. So, T.S. Eliot pays tribute to Mr. Mistopheles, the Rum-Tum Tugger, McCavity the Mystery Cat, and a variety of other cats in this engaging collection of humorous poems. And they are kind of humorous. Originally composed to amuse Mr. Eliot's intimate friends, to whom they were sent anonymously, these verses have proven irresistible to cat lovers, lovers of nonsense, and admirers of T.S. Eliot throughout the English-speaking world. So there you go, 10 books, 9 of which are staying for now. 3 of them might end up going. But I think the rest of them are at least safe until I've read them. Holmes is going to stay at least through this reading and until they get replaced. Because if I haven't replaced them, I'm not switching out the Holmes until I've got a replacement. And that's why I bought those, because I knew I needed a Holmes, and I really wanted one. And so I grabbed that last year. So there you go. We'll continue the library tour, and I'm hoping tonight to be back with yet another video where I do a belated weekend reads, because all the cool kids are doing it. And to talk to you about what I've been reading and some of my thoughts on them, because I've read some interesting stuff. At least I think it's kind of interesting. And I hope you find that it will be too. So, thank you, BookTube. Have a great day.